Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Mind Your Character with Bosede Olusola-Obasa. It's so delighting to be here. How has the week been? It's Friday, TGIF. I join people to say it, even though my best day is Monday. Somebody says, who is that one? Whose best day at work is Monday? I'm the one. I'm the one. Anyway, so it will make people on this side of the seat feel good to say TGIC. They already, let's move on. Anyway, so this is Mind Your Character, and this show is that show that will never ever leave you the same, because it will always leave you better than it met you. We are very happy to be here. We're happy because this gives us access to make sense. Yeah.
Drop it.
Words. Alright, and as you can see, I'm not the only one. I'll be serving you hot today. I'm going to do ladies first. Should we do gents first? No. Okay, so let's do ladies first. To my right, we have Dorcas. Welcome to the show, Dorcas.
Thank you, Ma. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Welcome.
Bon
I'm excited to be here. I don't know what that means. I honestly cannot remember what that means.
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't. I cannot remember.
It's basic friend. Go front say. Go front say. Bon après-midi.
I'm excited to be here.
Mademoiselle. Don't let me be abusing you, friend. Hey, students, you rightly so. Okay, so thank you, Dorcas. And then to my left is Mr. Tolokwe Olaisade. So great to have you. How does it feel to be on the show today?
Feels good. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. We like your native. These days, you are not sure if this is native wear anymore because people use it for even office. So you're welcome. It's looking very good. Like it's sitting well on you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So
we're going political ways, you know. Most of them go like this too.
Oh.
So.
Political ways.
Okay.
Bring it up. We will support you. We will support you. All right. So if you're ready, like we are, we wanted to have an opening conversation around something that happened recently. But when it's time for the main chat, we will be discussing about enduring an incompetent manager as a go-getting subordinate. Would you do it? Is it your thing, so to speak, to stay there? And when we check the meaning of endure, it was a lot.
A lot.
To suffer. To put up with.
Because of
to continue.
Why?
To for it.
Why?
Alright, so but before that, there's something that is of concern. I'll try to keep the name of the institution away. But you all know it already. I mean, if you follow the news, you know which institution we're referring to. We are bringing it up for mention because it's something that concerns all of us. It's either you have a son or a daughter, or you have a younger sibling, or you have somebody that you know that is in school, and then innocently, as they are in school, a lecturer decides to take advantage, and the school seems to serve judgment. It's a good thing, right?
Yes.
But then the judgment is get out of here.
That's
That
all.
is, you lose your job. So I got wondering that how is that painful to the man who did the act, and then how does sacking the person repay the innocent young lady who was involved? We're talking about the rape of young ladies in universities by lecturers. What's your thoughts, Tolu?
It's not a pleasant one. Definitely. When I first heard about it, it touched the soft side of my heart. So.
Alma mater.
Okay. You said you should not mention.
We are not mentioning. I mean, is there a school called Alma Mater?
So.
But if you know. It's a case of if you know, you know.
Yeah. So I wasn't glad when I heard it,
Mhm.
and I was wondering, like, the fact that it was rape it made the case worse because it's not rape is not a word that anybody wants to hear. Talk less of experience it. So I was trying to picture what would be going on with the girl, like this. It's not a good one.
Yeah. So the question is sending the lecturer out of job, is it enough punishment? Can it deter the next person who is thinking of doing that? Because you lose your job here, you get a job elsewhere. How does it, and I don't know how true those details are, but I heard that the man had a knife to the girl's life, like cooperate or lose your life. So when a few people were like, why didn't she shout? That obviously was one of the reasons, because she wanted to stay alive to be able to tell the story. So now school stepped in, asked to go, but I'm worried. How is that a deterrent? Because when precedent are set for things, it's with the intention that whoever is coming behind can receive sense. Can anybody receive sense that way? Not to do the same thing. To your mind?
First question was, is it enough?
Yeah, is it enough?
I'll say no, because in our current country, we don't have.
Current country.
Please,
Emphasis. Wow.
please, no JP things.
We don't have the system whereby if you commit an offense, it goes into your record and everybody has.
No, it definitely.
record.
Okay, record as in
Yes, as in public
nationwide.
Yeah.
record. So it has gone into his record, fine. But he can apply tomorrow and nobody will know what he has done elsewhere.
Well, I don't intend it to be that easy for him,
No, it's
because
not.
it was even in the media, it's on social media,
Yeah.
and if people do, that's why it's good to do background checks on people
Yeah.
when you're trying to bring them up. Well, we don't know how much of that is done in some of these institutions.
So if it was in an advanced country, immediately you go into the record, yeah, the record's forever.
That means you are
Sorry.
done for.
Blacklisted.
There's no get out of jail card. Because even if it's funny how someone has committed an offense and is dead, and you find out that they opened the case, and you're wondering, like, why they opened the case?
She's not there.
It's not there. So for him, I would say one is not enough, because he has just like left one place, he can equally go elsewhere. So if it were to be a case where he was taken to court and all of that, so if he was made to face the full wrath of the law.
Yeah. So for you think that there should be a legal. There should be
a legal angle to it.
I agree. I want to commend the school at this point, because I had been part of a particular situation where the certain school was playing cover up and promoting a culture of silence against female students in favor of the male rounding teacher. It was even a secondary school. It was obvious that all that management wanted to do was to save their own face, because if the thing gets out there, they will all be asked to answer, and so they don't want justice to take its due course. I got to the knowing that they did everything they could, including threatening the female students against speaking to even their parents.
Wow.
Yes, and then promising them stiff penalties if they ever here in this. You can imagine, in this very, very dispensation and century that we are, people are still told not to speak up. So I want to celebrate the particular school where the most current of this rape case just broke sometime this week, for not taking to the cover up pattern. But Dorcas, were you to recommend ìjìyà tó tọ́? You know, when I'm speaking Yoruba on a show, ìjẹ-ìyà tó tọ́, like the punishment that is out.
I wish Mr. Wafumi was on this show.
The punishment that
For
is
this,
out.
on this aspect.
The punishment that is out. What would you recommend? Don't hold back.
No holding back.
Yes.
The man should be castrated first to start from.
Like in my
Start from there first.
Yes.
Because I mean, I'm sure the lady.
That's the only way you can't do that to another person again.
Exactly.
And then others will receive sense.
I mean, the memory, the trauma, I believe it will stay with the girl for life, except there's a quick and fast or a long-lasting therapy session. Because I mean, why would you want to do that? She is a I don't know what to get it, but I want to believe she's not. Nobody would have consented.
Even
to
if
that
she's
kind
not
of,
a minor, she has a life. She has a right to who she decides to share her body with.
exactly.
You don't have a right
exactly.
to take it by force.
Castration, straight up. First.
Straight up.
Start from there. Any other
Anyway.
thing that follows.
On that note, I feel very satisfied to move into the main to the main part of this show today. But here is what we advise you on this seat. Please, if you have an issue with anything in skirt, don't go and be a lecturer. And if it's the reverse, where you are the lady, you are the one taking down the guys,
Yeah.
please don't go to where you'll be seeing them in their different shapes every day. Same for people in secondary schools and primary schools. Go to where you only be seeing trees, where you only be seeing
Or you only be seeing people that want to do
I'm
it
serious here.
anyhow they like.
Go and do a job that only shows you trees, animals, vegetation, water. Honestly, I'm serious though. Because to now go, you are making the life of those young people
Yes.
endangered.
Yes.
You are not good for that system. You should get out. Kick yourself out. Don't get kicked out. If you have any respect and any honor left.
I would feel like there should be a certain kind of prison for people that do that.
Honestly.
So only them will be there.
Honestly.
Punish
And
them,
the prison
torture
should
them.
be in the forest. Thick forest. Honestly, thick forest. Igbo kiji.
Under
That's where they
water.
should take them.
Speaking about
Wicked
this,
souls.
I remember Dr. Lumine Emmanuel saying that you get attracted to what you have seen. Right?
Yes.
That how come when you see a 90-year-old woman who is not wearing
Naked.
anything?
It's normal. That means you had the sense. You could have borrowed yourself sense. Honestly, this is not good. This is not good. And we want our girls to be safe. We want our boys to be safe. We want the women and the men to be safe. Please keep your excesses to yourself. Go for a class where you can deal with your weaknesses. And let's have the right to be alive and to be happy. Anyway, from that, we're switching to the next part of this show, and we're asking, for a few weeks now, we've been looking at things that have to do with the office, working relationships, climbing up the career ladder, and we've been using that to help you see that RCV is an organization that is correctly positioned to help you walk through the ladder up. Last week we had a conversation around, I was not on the show. What was that conversation? I remember trying to join online. It had to do with fights. Was that the fight show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Drag
That-
out.
Drag out.
Yes. If somebody drags you out, will you respond with a 40?
Some people
I
on the
think
show
down.
said yes. No, one
So people
person.
said, anyway, we'll move on. So today we're looking at another aspect. And the beautiful thing about these topics are there are things that people experience.
Yes.
On Mind Your Character, we don't just talk about things that you cannot relate with. So today we are asking that if you're a go-getting subordinate, your blood is hot for results, and then you found yourself under an incompetent manager, would you endure? Ṣé ìwọ àforítì dókun? I'm looking forward to hosting Yoruba show. See, I can be good in Yoruba.
Just make sure Mr. Wakume.
And make sure
okay. We should do a Yoruba. We should do a Yoruba show. We should do a Yoruba show one of these days. And I will make sure that Tolu is on that show.
No way.
No way.
No way.
You now be saying
You want that Jeff and I did. Just to give one quote.
In your dialect. Okay. So yes, would you endure an incompetent manager as a goal-getting subordinate? Would you? I think we should jump into the heart of the show. I have a quote here. There are a few things more dangerous than a mixture of incompetence, arrogance, and power. It's a dirty mixture.
Very dirty.
You are arrogant, you have power, yet you are incompetent. Have you ever met people like that? Pray you don't meet them. Pray you don't meet them. As in pray. Incompetent.
Let me not say what's on my mind.
Yet arrogant.
They now have power.
And then there's power. They can make the life of every subordinate and even co-managers like them a hell. That's a quote by Bob Harbert. Well, a few introductions to this is to help you know that an incompetent manager, by way of definition, is that manager that is ineffectual as a boss, but who often waffles over decisions that should be made instantly. You know waffles now? Okay. That should be made and then often makes poorly planned or miscalculated decisions. Combo yen bad. And then manages to save himself at an 11 hour. The word manages says that is an Oriyomi Mobori Dele kind of thing. Oriyomi Mobori Dele kind of thing. Anyway, if you are a Yoruba speaking person, you'll be loving this show. But if you are not, don't worry. Whatever I was saying in Yoruba, I've always said them in English, so you're safe with me. And who is a go-getter? From the way the word is that person who is very energetic, determined to be successful, and able to deal with new or difficult situations easily, according to Cambridge Dictionary. So you are looking at two things that are like different opposite ends. Somebody is slack with decisions, he manages to be 11th hour ready, is arrogant, is incompetent, yet he has power, he makes badly planned his decisions are not fast, they are slow, yet when he makes plans they are badly put together. And then you have someone who says, let's go, we can do it, I'm energetic, like I have fire in my bones, that kind of a person. But the problem is that the person who is less effective is on top than the person who is the go-getter. How do you survive? Can you endure it? Can you endure it? And for how long can you endure it? Dorcas is the first person I want to get a view from.
Well, my reactions with that, I already said it under my breath. I don't even know why. I said it choke first. That would be my first reaction. If I find myself in that situation, working with a manager or a boss that is incompetent, like the person does not know how to actually do anything right, and me, I'm a ginger person. Okay, let's do this. Okay, these are the timelines. This. One, it will be very, I will be unbalanced at first because it will take a lot to say you want to even adjust.
She puts cement on it.
It will be difficult to say you want to adjust initially. Can I stay? Can I endure? Because I think that is the essence of all of this thing.
Yes.
I don't think I would. I will not. Except there's somebody else, another superior above that person that is really competent and knows the game. I would honestly walk up to that person and make it a a very formal conversation. So it doesn't look like, with my evidences and facts, of course.
Yes.
So it doesn't look like I'm trying to snitch or do something that is not professional. So that's what I would do. But if there's nobody like that on it, I'm out.
For instance, if the person is the all in all, he
Yes.
owns the business, and then he's the manager of
Everything.
managers, and the one you must necessarily
No,
report to.
I will not stay. I cannot endure, sorry.
So, Tolu, what will staying do to that kind of a subordinate? In her case, she has said she will not stay. She has even told us what she likely will do, steps she will take to try to see how she can resolve the issue before eventually saying, I'm done. But if someone decides to stay, what do you see could happen to that kind of subordinate?
Okay, I see two sides to it. One, it automatically brings a growth to your career. It brings a stunted growth. Stunted growth was what I meant. So it puts like a lead over it. And on the other hand, it makes you develop yourself to become, to say, I don't want to become who this person is.
Yeah.
So when you get there, you automatically know what you don't want to do and how you want to become. So it can be either side. It depends on the individual now. So fine, it's not a one template fits all.
Yeah.
So some individuals will come in and be like, oh no, once I see 1 month, 2 months, they leave. So for the one that chooses to stay, like I said, for me it goes either to the left or to the right. So you can choose to become one that, okay, I'm picking the lessons, what I shouldn't do when I become a manager. Easy, sorry. And then the other side is it brings a shortfall to your growth, which nobody wants to have in his or her career, actually. So we also have some signs of an incompetent manager. And one is that they can't make prompt decisions. I know that on one hand, they will tell you that you should actually think through what you want to do. But there are certain decisions that you should make on the spot. Like, okay, let's say you're a bank manager, for example. A customer who has been wrongly debited comes in. And you're now thinking that, okay, we have procedure, you wait, that we'll have to take it to the head office. And this person is telling you that, okay, let's take for instance where there were no funds as at then. And maybe you walk to your bank and you find out that a particular 100,000 is not in your account. And you're wondering like, what happened? What went wrong? And it just happens that rather than you addressing the issue at hand, you now decide to say, oh, we are going to take 1 month, and it now comes after 1 month and they've removed another 100,000 from his account. Come on. So you should learn to make prompt decisions. There are certain decisions that are on the spot.
Yeah.
as it hot, just this is that. When you make such decisions, you actually what do you say? You cut it at the head or something like that. So there are certain diseases that if you don't cut it as at then, they'll end up they'll end up getting the entire system rot. So
it's just like dealing with something once it starts happening.
Yeah.
So that other things do not happen based on the fact that you did not address that when you're supposed to.
Yep, exactly.
So another sign is that they refuse to take the blame for their failure.
that one is actually like super. We find it in our everyday. If you've ever had a manager who, rather than sticking out his head for his subordinate, it's like first you now meet me for you. I'm not meant to go before you. So rather than like, there are managers who maybe they were not in the office when a particular thing happened, and you find out that they come up and they're like, okay, yes, we actually took the decision amongst ourselves, and you're wondering like, but you were not in the office. Yes, they contacted me. He doesn't have an idea of what happened, but he's sticking out his head because he knows that if
they actually take it out on if they take it out on the subordinate that he don't read.
Yes.
So for instance, rather than it being a situation like that, okay, if it was to be that they are taking it out on the manager, it might just be like maybe a 1 week suspension for the manager.
Abi.
But the subordinates, they just say, oh yeah, 10
All
of you
go home.
go home, and that's a no-no for it.
It's not fair. It's
Shouldn't
actually
be.
not.
So Dorcas, let me put you on the spot now. Have you ever been in such a situation?
Yes, several.
Several. So did you throw them under the bus?
No.
Or were you,
No, you didn't ask
which
whether
one
she
were you
was
now? Were you the
subordinate
subordinate or the manager?
Mm,
Or you've been in both situations?
I've actually been on both sides, and the side where I was the subordinate, my manager did not cast. The person
Did not
intended
feed you
not
to the
cast.
dogs.
No.
Okay.
The person
Thank
did not
God
cast
for that.
me, and so I also learned from that not to be that kind of a manager.
Exactly.
There's
So
a way to make you feel like.
so that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. So you've learned how to handle such situation. Exactly.
All right. What else do we have? Effect of, I believe we already discussed both signs and effect.
Yeah.
We mentioned signs by saying that he doesn't want to take responsibility. The other part is he wants to take the glory.
Glory.
So
Yeah.
when things are sweet, he wants to say I did.
Yeah.
But when things are not fine,
He
but
wants
his incompetence affects his subordinates because the subordinate, like you said, will not be able to grow. He wants to move fast, he wants to get results, but there is a lead. There is a lead, and if you understand how hierarchy works well in an organization, if you try to push it, it will become a case of an offense,
Yes.
which you might have to pay dearly for.
Yes.
So you want to be careful. I want to re-echo what Dorcas said about a few of the steps we want to leave you with on how to. She said if there is another leadership figure within that space, you can walk up to that person. You can even make it an informal conversation at first. But while that is on, every evidence that you can track with such managers, make sure that I'm back to the incompetent manager now. For instance, if you people had a project to deliver, and as at the first week of that project, you already did the findings and you sent in a mail that this is all that we will need for this period of our job. And out of being incompetent or being an 11th hour person like you read, it was not addressed. You did your reminders via mail. They were not, or they were acknowledged and like, okay, I'll look at it. Up till the time when the big day, when you should have turned in that thing, begins to close in on everybody. And if it became something very messy at a point, and everyone is asked to answer, if you've worked with that kind of person for a while and you notice this is the pattern, you must now be smart as that subordinate to begin to take records. Try not to do informal conversations or reporting with that person, so that when the chips are down, if you need to save your head, it's not that you are being selfish, it's just that this person is not likely to change and I have a career ahead of me I have to protect. So make sure that you can do screenshots, and if there are WhatsApp messages, do screenshots, upload them as emails. If they are email messages, they are always there. So if you have to say, oh, from my part, this is how it has been, and without, because it gets to that point in some official issues that you might need it, then if there's someone you can speak to about what's happening and say, is there a way you can help me intervene, this is what I'm going through, they may want to come in and see what to do. There's a third thing you can do. You can request for the person's superior or whoever manages the department or under whose care both of you's job falls You can ask for a redeployment.
To another department.
Yes, you can ask for a redeployment depending on how, because if you have been putting another superior on notice, they would have noticed that there's a thread of action. So if by the time an assessment or evaluation is being done at the close of the year, and they give you a form and say, try to find out if you like to move to anywhere else, you should be the first person to jump at that option. Yes, yes. But if you think you have a very thick skin and you can endure, why not stay there? Because at the end of the day, you are going to take over that man's job.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that thick skin, there are other options, and that's what we have shared. But if you know you have this thick skin, like you are the type who can still get things done in spite of the barricades, even though it's taking the glory, you don't mind. Even though it's throwing you under the trailer when there is a little minus, you don't mind. There are people like that too. They can withstand heat, they can withstand stress, they can go on in spite. Their name is endurance. Yes, they are Mr. or Miss or Mrs. Endurance. They are, honestly, there are people like that. If you are that kind of person, kudos to you. Just stay on, because the truth is, but keep records though. At the end of the day, there are kind of people that you work with that you cannot afford not to have records. I am not teaching you something that is unprofessional, but there are times when you are doing verbal conversations with them, you should have them on record. Particularly if they are also not just incompetent, they have power, they are arrogant, and they are able to deny. If somebody can say, I did it when it is right, and they did it when it is wrong, then that person has lied under is a liar to an extent. So when you talk or discuss sensitive issues, it will not be out of place to put them on record. It depends on the stake that we are looking at here. It's not just for every position or job that you need to do this, but if the stake is high and you need to do face saving, name saving, brand saving, please ensure that you look out for yourself. It's so very important. I don't know if we have comments to take. If we don't have comments, that has been the show. We hope those recommendations serve. I know that a lot of people find themselves under managers they are better than by far. But because they have been posted to work with those people, and if you adjust to the level of your manager, it's your loss. Yes, you are the one who is going to become less competent than you were when you started, and you don't want to do that to yourself. So look at all those options. Finally, all said and done, if you need to exit the organization because of the peculiarities, let that be your last option. Let that be your, after you have tried all other things and those ones are not working, please borrow leg to another place. All right, so that's the show, and we hope that we've been able to make plenty of sense and add value to you. If you have either superiors or subordinates who need help as individuals, we have what we call employee rebound sessions, where they can come and take some sessions of 1 week, max 2 weeks, or if more. Yes, it's a personal coaching session. It's therapeutic, and they can come and have it with RCV. Can be for your leaders, can be for your leaders to be. Please send them in, and let's see how we help them come out of that state into what the company will be better for and they will be happier for. So that's employee rebound session. Speak with us on 081 0612 0819 for that, and we will be there to pick your calls. We also need to talk about our trainings in 2023. We'll do more of that as the weeks roll in, but we want you to have employee rebound session on your mind specifically for today, because it talks about rebound. That's incompetent manager will become competent. Send them in. And then next after that is to tell you that we're at Red Eye Studios, and here at Red Eye Studios we are good at what we do. Yes, I'm saying we because we're in partnership with them, and you want to reach Red Eye for any of their awesome services, from photography to cinematography to lighting to drone piloting to sound engineering, media coverage, live recording, every kind of media needs you might have. Please call 0906 9696 That number is the hotline. Once you dial, you are right in front of these service providers. One thing I always say about the crop of team members that serve at Red Eye is the fact that they are calm. They will serve you just the way you would like customer service put. We're not saying that they are 100% like perfect, but we're saying that you will not regret doing business with that organization. And you should please follow us on our social media handles. Mind Your Character on Facebook as well as YouTube. And please recommend this show to others. Share the links and recommend the channel on YouTube as well as Facebook. Thank you so much for a beautiful time you've allowed us to spend with you. We want you to have a very beautiful weekend.
Yes.
And December is smelling. I can. How many of us started feeling the way the weather is?
Yes.
You know, it's very hot in the afternoon. It's cold in the morning slightly, and then it's dry. Don't worry, don't spend all your money in December. Invest in real estate. Talk to me if you need real estate investment. Just dial 081 061 2089. You will hear everything you want. Value addition all the way. All the way. Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you to all the crew of Mind Your Character, many of them behind the scenes. Thank you. Debbie, she's on we call them TV prompter. And then thank you, Marvelous. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Chidera. And thank you, the Red Eye, two Red Eye guys. We have Osinachi, the Baba. Diamond. And then we have Mr. Toby Adesoya. Wow, that Adesoya name is a special name.
Powerful name.
My name is Olusola-Obasa. You've had Dorcas Adejo with me as well as Tolokwela Isade. We're signing out now. Take care of yourself and God bless you.
And shout out to the World Cup for those of us who are watching the World Cup.
For those of us who are watching in extension.
So, Nigeria is not going to be mentioned, but we are enjoying it.
We thank God.
Thank the Lord.
Bye.